Got hammered and watched another movie last night. Oh yeah? Which one? Hazza Potto and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Isn't it Azkaban? Yeah, that's what I thought too. It was pretty weird actually. Harry Potter was a girl, but she had a cock, and the acting was terrible.
Quick, Hermione, grab my wand.
You downloaded the wrong movie again, didn't you? I did, but luckily I watched that Azkaban one too. Have you got a boner? No, that's just a crease in my pants. Why does it smell like asparagus in here? So anyways, this bloody movie has it all. It's a murder mystery, a teen drama, and a bloody Back to the Future film all rolled into one. Sounds pretty epic. And there's no way you're gonna bloody guess the ending. Dumbledore gives Gryffindor a stack of unearned points and rigs the house system, am I right? I mean, that happens every movie. But you won't guess what else happens. Okay, you've lubed me up, let's do it. So the movie starts with Hazza shaking his little wand underneath the sheets. He what? Nah mate, he's casting a spell, not spanking off. Oh right. Well yeah, he does do that too for about 3 hours in the director's cut. Really? Yeah, thankfully you don't see anything though. The camera just creepily lingers outside his window and you just hear sheets rustling. Jesus Christ. Anyways, he's trying to hide it from the Dursleys, right? The wanking or the magic? The magic. Aunt Petunia has to wash his sheets all the time because they're basically like sandpaper now, so they already know what that little bugger's up to. Gross. Anyways, Dursley's having his sister over for dinner, Aunt Marge. And Hazza, he hates her, right? Because she's angrier than a gerbil that's up Richard Gere's ass. That's an outdated reference. Why is she so angry? Yeah, well it turns out she's had a yeast infection for like 30 years. You know, she got it from an airport bathroom. Ugh. Oh, and she loves the sauce. So she's an alcoholic. Yeah, and whenever she gets on the bottle, she tears Hazza a new one. So a children's movie starts with rampant alcoholism and emotional abuse. You better believe it does. And this woman is well out of pocket. She's given Hazza this massive spraying, telling him that he looks like Elijah Wood's aborted twin brother who survived, but now he has to live in a basement so that no one can see the coat hanger that's sticking out of his head. Jesus Christ, that's harsh. I know, right? They do kind of look alike though. They really do. Anyways, this sucks sweaty dong for Hazza, right? Because he's promised to be good so that Dursley will sign his school permission form. What's the form for? Well, we don't know that yet, but Hazza has this like massive stiffy whenever he talks about it, so it must be really good. I see, keeping it a mystery. Did J.J. Abrams write this? Nah, mate. So Marge goes way too far, right? She says Hazza's dad was the kind of guy that would hang out near school playgrounds, and that Hazza's mum used to have an OnlyFans account, but she only had like 5 subscribers. Ouch, that's a low blow. Yeah, I know. But get this, Hazza gets so mad at Marge that she starts swelling up worse than one of those kids that can't handle peanuts. That's not good. That's right. And Dursley's never going to sign that fucking form now, is he? Anyways, she swells up so bad that she floats away, and I'm pretty sure she gets caught in the engine of a commercial airplane. Holy crap! It's super dark. I'm pretty sure it was that Malaysian Airlines plane that went missing as well. Hazza, he's had it, right? He says that he can't stand to live with the Dursleys anymore because they're more inbred than the people of Tasmania. Hey, my mum's from Tasmania. Exactly, you just proved my point. What? But Dursley, he's like, they're not gonna let you back in that Hogwarts school now, are they, you little cumrag? Why not? Well, because students aren't allowed to use magic outside of school, are they? What about all the other times he accidentally used magic outside of school? Yeah, well, they only invented that law for this movie, so they hope you've forgotten about that already. That makes sense. So Hazza, he's homeless now, right? So he can't go back to Hogwarts, he can't go home, so he just walks the street at night, offering a wristy to anyone who will give him a place to sleep. Could he go to Ron's house? Yeah, probably. What about Hermione's? Look, I mean, he could probably go there too, but the movie wants us to think that he has no other options, so it feels dramatic or something. Fair enough. So the writers got lazy then. Super lazy. Anyways, Hazza's given up and he's having a whinge on the side of the road because the Uber surcharge is through the roof, and he's wondering what's even the point in Uber nowadays if it's more expensive than taxis. I mean, he's right, isn't he? It's a worse product for more money. And while he's waiting, a big black dog comes out of the bushes and barks at him. A big black what? A dog. Oh, I thought you said a big black... Never mind. So Hazza, he pulls out his wand to defend himself, and this big fuck off bus comes out of nowhere. That's the night bus, right? Yeah, that's the one. Apparently it's a bus for stranded wizards or something. Again, it's not really mentioned before, and it feels like the writers just needed something exciting to happen, so let's just breeze past that. Alright. So Hazza gets on there, and the conductor keeps asking him who he is, because he looks so familiar, and Hazza, he doesn't want him to know that he's actually Harry Potter. Yeah, but didn't everyone in the wizarding world recognise him in the first film? Surely he's even more recognisable now that he's beaten Voldemort twice in the past 2 years. Yeah, you'd think that, but apparently everyone in the wizarding world has frontal lobe dementia now or something. I hear that is getting more common every year. Anyways, the bus driver's on cocaine or something because he's driving faster than Caitlyn Jenner was when she killed that woman with her car. Jesus, that's pretty fast. Yeah, and for some reason there's this shrunken head that keeps talking to Hazza in this fake Jamaican accent. Seems a bit racist. Was that character in the books? No, I have no idea why they thought it was a good idea. It's probably going to get him cancelled. Anyways, it's just before you think they're going to go full racist and have him start singing Bob Marley or something like that. Hazza sees some geezer on the newspaper, doesn't he? Who is it? Everyone thinks Harry has been sniffing petrol because he doesn't know who he is. Who is he? Sirius Black. He is not! Wait, who's Sirius Black? Well, apparently he's this murderer, right? Who killed a bunch of muggles, and he's the only person to ever successfully break out of Azkaban prison. I see, and because they're making such a big deal of it now, he's going to become super important to the plot later, right? You better believe it. Anyways, Hazza finally gets dropped off at the Leaky Cauldron, doesn't he? And Cornelius Fudgepacker is there. Oh, he's the guy that runs the Ministry of Sound, right? Yeah, that's the one. And he's chewing his ear off, right? Because he's shelved like 10 pingers. And guess what? What? He only lets Hazza off the bloody hook, doesn't he? So you mean Hazza isn't in trouble for using magic outside of school? You know, the one and only rule they made up for this movie. Nah, Fudgepacker's like super chill about it. Probably because his brain is swimming with MDMA. So the first 20 minutes of this movie were basically pointless then. Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, Fudgepacker says that it's lucky Hazza is safe because Sirius Black is on the loose. The guy from the newspaper, what does he want with Hazza? Well, that's exactly what Hazza says, doesn't he? But Fudgepacker acts super sus and does that thing where he won't reveal information because they want it to be a mystery for later in the movie. Are you sure J.J. Abrams didn't write this film? No, he didn't. So anyways, Hazza goes up to his room in the hotel and Hedwig is there. I love Hedwig. Yeah, he's great. Or she. It's pretty unclear. But get this, someone has sent Hazza this book that looks like a spider or something, and it tries to bite off one of Hazza's nipples. Hang on, what? Yeah, no idea. Anyways, he tricks that weird book thing by feeding it one of his shoes, and then he curb stomps it on the head like that scene in American History X. It's pretty messed up. And does this have any relevance to the plot? Sort of. But it does just feel like they're padding for time. Yeah, but we're only like 25 minutes into the movie though, aren't we? Yeah, I think the writer was smoking chuff or something. Anyways, the next day Hazza bumps into Hermo and Ronno, who are arguing because Hermo's cat keeps challenging Ronno's rat to a boxing match with Jake Paul. Who's Jake Paul? I'm kind of simultaneously happy for you that you don't know who that wanker is, but also think you're a fucking idiot because you're so out of touch with pop culture at the moment. Keep going then. Anyways, Ronno's dad rocks up and he wants to tell Hazza the truth about Sirius Black, doesn't he? And what is the truth? He says that Sirius Black actually got his name being a performer on that website Blacked. Oh, what's that website about?
You liar!
Turns out he went full Michael Jackson and changed his skin colour to hide from the coppers. Didn't Michael Jackson have a skin disease? Dunno, but he did touch up a bunch of kids, so fuck him. Great music though, great music. Anyways, Arthur Weasley says to Hazza that Sirius Black is now looking for him. Really? What does he want with Hazza? No idea, but Mr. Weasley, he's being super sus, and he makes Hazza promise that he won't go looking for Sirius Black. Why would he go looking for someone who wants to kill him? Mate, that's exactly what Hazza says again. Are you sure you haven't seen this movie? No, honest. Anyways, now Hazza, Ronno and Hermo are getting on the train to Hoggies, right? And Hazza, he's forgotten his Oyster card, hasn't he? And he doesn't have any cash either. So Ronno tells him to just fuck it and jump over the barrier. So they get on the train and for some reason they decide to sit right next to a sleeping homeless man who smells like he's pissed himself. Is he a Hogwarts student? Nah, turns out he's actually called Professor Lupin, but he's not related to that French detective. I checked. I was gonna ask that. Anyways, Hazza tells Ronno and Hermo about what Mr. Weasley said and how Sirius Black broke out of Azkaban. And what do they say? Well, Hermo says that she doesn't know what blacked.com is either, but you can see in Ronno's eyes that he knows exactly what's up. Anyways, the train stops, right? And the windows all begin to freeze up worse than Windows 11. Oh shit, what's happening? Well, that's just it. A big bloody floating hooded wanker called a Dementor comes in the carriage. And what's a Dementor? Well, it looks dangerously close to plagiarizing the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings. Oh crap, what's it doing on the train then? No idea, but it starts sucking Hazza off, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I mean it was trying to suck out his soul. Oh, that makes much more sense. And just when it looks like Hazza is done for, Lupin springs up and pisses right in the Dementor's face. Gross. Yeah, but the Dementor's weirdly kind of into it because it watches way too much Wizard Hub. So Lupin, he just kicks it in the nutsack and it walks away limping. Whew, that was close. Oh, and then Hazza passes out. So Lupin gives all the kids chocolate to help them calm their nerves, right? A strange, homeless looking man is handing out chocolate on a train filled with underage kids. Yeah, that did raise a few flags for me as well, but turns out he's super chill. Okay, well I'm keeping my eye on him. So once Hazza wakes up, he tells Hermo and Ronno that when he passed out, he heard a woman screaming. And she says, "No one was screaming, Harry." But then Ronno, he chimes in and says, "Except the trolley lady who hands out the sweets. She screamed because when you passed out, your pants fell down and your cock fell out." How does someone's pants just fall down when they pass out? No idea. Magic, I guess. Anyways, they finally get to Hoggies and Professor Flitwick is performing with the school choir. And for some reason, they're all holding giant toads. What are they singing? Something Wicked This Way Comes? You know, the one that's like, something wicked this way comes. Oh, so it's like an omen for the Dementors or something like that? No idea. I think Flitwick, he's actually been licking those giant toads, so he's off his head. I always knew Flitwick was a tripper. Yeah, also I think he fucked one of those toads. Jesus Christ! Anyways, Dumbo gets up on the podium, doesn't he? And he announces that the old homeless man from the train, he's going to be the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, doesn't he? 3 teachers in 3 years? Why on earth would anyone take that job anymore? It's obviously cursed. Oh, for sure. So then Malfoy, yeah, he leans over and he starts ripping Hazza a new one for passing out on the train and letting his cock fall out. Yeah, fair enough, really. Yeah, exactly. So Dumbo, he tells everyone about how the old Care of Magical Creatures teacher has retired to spend time with his remaining limbs. Remaining limbs? Huh? Yeah, that's what he says. Is there like an outbreak of leprosy at Hogwarts? Dumbledore seems way too chill about this. I think it's supposed to be funny or something, but it just makes Dumbo look like a horrible person. It really does. Anyways, Hagrid is now the new Care of Magical Creatures professor. And Dumbo also says that now the Dementors, you know, the hooded things that tried to suck Hazza off, you mean suck out his soul. Exactly. Well, they're being placed all around Hoggies till Sirius Black can be captured. So the dangerous creatures that randomly attacked a defenseless student on the train are now being used to protect those very same students. That's his plan. Makes perfect sense to me. So next up, Hazza and the gang head to the Gryffindor common room, and the fat lady from the portrait, she won't let them in until they've heard her sing. Why? I'm not really sure. I think because they got Dawn French for the role, and she's a famous fat lady, so they thought it would be funny to cast her as the fat lady. Seems a bit offensive. Why did she take the part? Dunno, maybe she ate all her money or something and needed the work. Anyways, Hazza and the lads, they're eating these sweets, right, that make you sound like animals. What? I don't know what's going on there. I don't even think those sweets are in the book. The weird thing is that Hazza's one doesn't even make an animal sound. It makes him sound like a kettle, and then he shoots steam out of his ears. So you think maybe the writer's just been licking toads like Professor Flitwick? Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, it sort of zooms out of their window to show that all the Dementors are watching them. They're watching them in their rooms, huh? Yeah, I mean, I think that it's supposed to be a creepy shot, but the fact that it zooms out from the boy's window and shows all the Dementors looking towards that same window kind of makes it seem like all the Dementors are just massive pedos or something. Yeah, it does kind of seem that way. Anyways, next up there's this beautiful tracking shot of a blue bird flying all the way through Hoggies and down the hallways. Aw, cute. Yeah, then it flies past the Whomping Willow and it just fucking explodes. What? Yeah, it's totally messed up. Doesn't have anything to do with the plot either. I think the director just really hates birds. I mean, that's fair enough. They have caused a few pandemics. Yeah, only a couple more than Chinese lab leaks, to be fair. True. Don't say that on YouTube though, you'll get banned. Anyways, next up they have divination class with Professor Trelawney. And let me tell you, this woman is a total meth head. She only tries to teach the kids how to read tea leaves, doesn't she? Oh, right. My grandma does that rather than going to the doctor. Really? Is she fit and healthy? Nah, she's got 5 types of cancer. Yep, sounds about right. Anyways, Trelawney, she looks into Hazard's cup, right? And at first you think maybe she's seeing a baby crawling on the roof like that scene from Trainspotting because she's a meth head? Exactly, but turns out she's right to crap her dax, isn't she? Because what she actually sees is the Grim. What? The Grim? I don't understand. Yeah, but don't worry, this totally random kid who we've never heard from before chimes in with this totally gangster explanation.
The Grim, taking form of a giant spectral dog, is among the darkest omens in our world. It's an omen. Death.
Oh, shit. Like the big black dog from the start. Yeah, exactly right, mate. Interesting. Very interesting. Go on then. So after that, Hermo, Rono and Hazza, they're all having a gas bag on their way to the next class, and Hermo, she's livid, right, because she thinks that divination is a load of hairy dog shit. Well, that's because it is. Yeah, it totally is. But then she starts going on about ancient runes and how that class is the best. But then Rono, he calls her out, right, and he's like, hang on, Hermione, are you on your rags or what? Divination class is on at the same time as ancient runes. You can't be in 2 places at once. Why not? Surely there's a spell for that. I mean, yeah, there probably is. Anyways, Hermo thinks Ron's a total twat, right? So she blows him off and she goes, don't be silly, Ron. How can anyone be in 2 classes at once? And stop sending me pictures of your micro penis and pubes. Gross. So next up, they attend their first Care of Magical Creatures with Hagrid, and he's like, I got a great lesson for you today. A real treat. Follow me. So then he leads them all into the forest. You mean the Forbidden Forest? The one with all the giant spiders and various other lethal creatures that could kill the students? Yeah, that's the one. Seems like the worst possible place to have a class, but go on. Anyways, turns out the book Hazza received at the start, you know, the one that bit off his left nipple. Well, that was for this class, wasn't it? It was? So Hagrid sent him the book. I mean, it's not super clear, and the books are only really in the movie for 2 seconds. Hagrid tells Malfoy to stroke one off, and then another one kills Neville. It kills him! Maybe. I mean, it wounds him pretty bad, and then I think it just gaslights him for 30 years in an emotionally abusive relationship. Weird. I still don't see what these books had to do with the plot, though. Oh yeah, they have absolutely nothing to do with the plot. Anyways, Malfoy starts giving Hazza crap about fainting on the train again. And he does that thing where he pretends a Dementor's right behind him, doesn't he? Oh, you mean like the games 5-year-olds play? Well, he'll never fall for that, right? Nah, he totally does. And what's weird is like everyone in the class does too. Even that gangster kid from Divinations who grew up in the hood and should totally know better. Weird. So what happens next? Well, then Hagrid tells them that his first class is about hippogriffs, right? What the hell is a hippogriff? It's like a half eagle, half lion or something. Sounds pretty dangerous. Oh yeah, they totally are. Anyways, Hagrid says, if you don't want to get mauled by this thing, guys, you gotta be submissive. So what does Hazza do? Well, he bends over and sticks his ass in the air, doesn't he? Ah, like in prison. Exactly. So this hippogriff He then makes Hazard the prison bitch, right? And after that, he's comfortable enough with him, so he allows Hazard to ride him. And I don't mean like how he just rode Hazard's backside for 20 minutes while everybody watched. So he flies on the hippogriff. Exactly. And Malfoy, he's spewing, right? He's like, I'm rich, and if Potter can ride a hippogriff, then so can I. So then he pushes his way all to the front, but the hippogriff, he doesn't like that, does he? He doesn't. No, he doesn't. He makes a shiv out of a toothbrush handle, and then he stabs Malfoy in the left nutsack. Holy shit! And then Hermione runs up, and she's like, Hagrid! You have to take him to the fucking hospital wing! So Hagrid's like, class dismissed, you little cunts. And then he just walks off. Wait, just leaving the kids alone in the Forbidden Forest? Yeah, exactly. Anyways, later that night, they're all studying in the Great Hall, and some of the ghosts, they smash through the window carrying a severed head. Does everyone freak out? No, mate, they don't even look up from their bloody books. And get this right, old mate Malfoy, he's trying to use the fact that he got shanked by a toothbrush to score some gash from the chick who's sitting next to him. Does it work? Oh, yeah, mate, for sure. Chicks dig scars, but more importantly, chicks dig tons of money. So, he totally nails her right there on the table. Gross. Yeah, it is. And he makes Crabbe and Goyle watch too. Anyways, Seamus Finnegan runs in and he's like, ooh, fiddle-dee-dee, potatoes. That's racist. No, it's not. Irish people aren't a race, you wanker. Oh yeah, true. Go on. Anyways, Seamus, he's screaming about potatoes or something. Then he throws down a newspaper featuring Sirius Black. Oh shit! Yeah, apparently he's been seen 2 towns over buying pornos from an old Club X store. I mean, he could just stream it like a normal person, but go on. Yeah, but get this. Everyone reckons he's heading straight for Hoggies. Oh shit! Again, what are you doing? Shut up. You got it. So then that gangster kid who doesn't even have a name yet, he's like,
That's right. That could be anywhere. So I try to catch smoke. I try to catch smoke with your bare hands.
Jesus, that's a bit creepy. What's wrong with this kid? Yeah, he's seen some shit. You can see it in his eyes. So next up, they have their first Defense Against the Dark Arts class with Lupin, and he tells them that they're going to be learning about boggarts. And what is a boggart? Well, that's what I thought. Apparently it's like this creature that can take on anyone's worst fears. So for Gen Z, it would be like not being able to get on the property ladder till you're like 65. Yeah, exactly. And for boomers, it would be like their 18-year-old daughter starting up an OnlyFans and then earning more than they do in their first week. That's a tough one. So during the class, we get to see everyone's worst fears, right? Rono, he's scared of spiders, and then everyone laughs at Neville because he's scared of Snape. So then Lupin, he starts asking Neville really personal stuff about his grandma and what she wears to sleep at night, and if she gives blowjobs with her false teeth in or not. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, but apparently it's all above board because he wants Neville to just imagine Snape in his grandma's clothes so that he isn't scared anymore. I don't know if that explains the false teeth part though. And get this right, Hazza freaks out because the boggart takes the form of a Dementor, right? Uh-oh. You're damn right, uh-oh. Hazza shits himself so bad that his colon flies halfway across the room and then hits Neville in the face. Uh-oh. So Lupin, he has to jump in and save him. And when he does, the boggart turns into a full moon. A full moon? Why would he be scared of that? You don't find out. He's a werewolf, isn't he? Fuck, how did you know? I mean, it's a full moon, pretty obvious, right? Damn it. Well, could you at least pretend to be surprised when it gets revealed later? Okay, you got it. Ah! No, not now, you bloody idiot. Okay. Got it. Anyways, Lupin tells the kids all to fuck off and McGonagall takes all the kids to Hogsmeade. But get this, Hazza can't go because old mate Dursley didn't sign his permission form, did he? Ah, gutted. So that's what the form was for then. He pleads with her. He even offers to sell her some chuff if she signs the form for him, but she's like, piss off, Potter! I've got my own medicinal marijuana, and it's prime shit! Damn, so what does Hazard do? Well, he stays behind, doesn't he? But Lupin offers to hang out with him all day. A little bit weird, but okay. And he says that he stopped Hazard from taking on the boggart because he was worried that it would take on the form of Voldemort, right? And he couldn't be fucked dealing with all the letters of complaints from parents. That's fair. There's a lot of shit, whingy parents out there, right? You gotta feel sorry for teachers nowadays. Anyways, Hazard tells Lupin that before he passed out on the train and everyone saw his curly little dick, he heard a woman screaming. Why is his dick curly? I don't think anyone knows. So Lupin tells him that it was his mother's scream and that he used to hang out with Hazard's parents when they were young. Really? Yeah, he said Hazard's dad, James, was a real lad, right? He'd hang out at train stations and ask folks to buy him booze or else he'd curse him. What a c***. Yeah, and then he tells Hazard that he has his mum's eyes and that his mum was super hot and that once he had a wet dream about her. Why would he tell him that? No idea. Anyways, Rono gets back from Hogsmeade and he's being a right bastard, going on about how sick it was right in front of Hazard, who's still pissed that he didn't get to go. But when they get back to the common room, the fat lady's gone from her portrait and someone's fucking slashed it up, haven't they? Oh, fuck. It's Sirius Black, isn't it? You're damn right it was. Anyways, they find the fat lady hiding out in another portrait and she tells everyone about about it, and the kids all freak the fuck out. So Dumbledore makes them all sleep on the floor in the Great Hall together. Wouldn't that be uncomfortable? Yeah, it looks super uncomfortable. They're all just basically laying on cold stone floors, which is weird because I feel like he easily could have made them comfy beds out of magic. What a oh yeah, he's a massive cunt. Anyways, get this right. While the kids are sleeping, Dumbo and Snape'o have a secret conversation in the middle of the room with all the kids around. Yeah, it's a total dickhead move. I thought Dumbo was supposed to be the smart one. Anyways, Snape'o, he reckons it's impossible that Sirius Black got into Hoggies all by himself. Yeah, true, because of all the Dementards. Yeah, it's actually Dementors. Anyway, Snape'o didn't approve of Dumbo hiring Lupin, did he? But then Dumbo cuts him off and he's like,
"Not a single professor inside the castle would help Black to enter it, you greasy-haired simp."
And Hazza, he totally overhears the whole conversation. You know, because they were only 2 feet away from him. I mean, that was always going to happen. But get this, the next day when they rock up for Defense Against the Dark Arts, Lupin isn't there. Fuck, maybe he did let Black into the castle then. Well, we don't know yet, but then Snape'o takes the class and he gives this lecture on werewolves. And Hermo, she's like, "But sir, we've just started learning about redcaps and henkypunks." Then Snape'o goes, "Shut your goddamn mouth, Miss Granger. 40 gajillion points from Gryffindor." And then Hermo, she's like, "No!" Then Snape'o gets well out of pocket, right? And he jams him up with a stack of homework. And Hazza, he's livid, right? Because he's got Quidditch tomorrow. But Snape'o calls him out and goes, "Boo-hoo, Potter. Why don't you go run off and tell your dead parents?" Anyways, the next day Hazza, he's playing Quidditch, right? And you'll never guess what happens. He either wins the game or something dramatic happens to ruin the game. Those are basically the only two things that happen when he plays Quidditch. Well, yeah, that's right. The Dementards show up and they try to suck Hazza off again, right? Then he wakes up in the hospital room with all his friends around him and they're a little weirded out because he has this huge morning wood. So then Ronno pulls out Hazza's broomstick, right? He does what? Nah, his broomstick, not his cock, mate. Ah, okay. Yeah, apparently it got wrecked when he fell off his broom. So then Hazza goes for a walk with Lupin in the woods and he has a massive whinge about it. I thought Lupin was gone. Nah, apparently he's just sick or something. Anyways, Hazza says because he's the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, he should be the one to teach him how to fight the Dementards. That's fair. I mean, it's basically his job description, right? To teach kids how to defend against the dark arts. Yeah, exactly. But he tells Hazza to fuck off till the end of summer because he's too tired. Why is he so tired? Apparently he's been out clubbing with the lads, so he'll be nursing a hangover till the end of summer. Ouch. We've all been there. So now it's winter, right? And all the kids, they're off to Hogsmeade again. And Hazza, he's filthy about it, right? So he's just standing in a window watching everyone like a serial killer. That is a creepy thing to do. Why is he doing that? I don't know. I think the director just really loved the shot, so they kept it in, even if it made Hazza look like he was about to take out a sniper rifle and start firing it off into the crowds. Anyways, Hazza tries to sneak out of school using his invisibility cloak. You know, the one from the first film that could probably solve most of his problems, but he rarely uses it? Well, it doesn't bloody work, does it? Because then Fred and George catch him, and then they... Wait, how do they catch him if he's invisible? Well, that's just it, right? Turns out these two mad dogs have this magic map called the Marauder's Map, and it basically shows everyone's current location in Hoggies at all times. Well, that's a bit creepy. What if a stalker got a hold of that? Well, luckily the previous lads who invented the map, Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs, thought of that. So the map, it unlocks with the phrase, "I solemnly swear I'm up to no good." And then you can lock it again by saying, "Mischief managed." Why not just have a 4-digit PIN code like an iPhone? Yeah, that probably would have been much easier. Who are Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs? Are we supposed to know them? Nah, that's supposed to be a J.J. Abrams mystery. You don't actually find out till Lupin is Mooney, isn't he? Because he's a werewolf. Fuck, again? Could you at least pretend to be surprised when we get to that part? Got it. Anyways, Hazza uses the map to sneak all the way out of Hoggies, which actually takes him all the way into the basement of Honeydukes. So while he's sneaking out, he steals a lollipop and starts eating it right in front of Seamus Finnegan, who naturally freaks the fuck out. Isn't he supposed to be staying hidden? Clearly people are going to see a floating lollipop hovering down the street. Yeah, but Hazza's got low blood sugar, doesn't he? So he doesn't really think straight until he gets a bit of a boost. You mean Potter is a diabetic? Yeah, probably. I mean, they eat nothing but junk food at Hoggies, so I'm sure heart disease is rampant there too. And I can't even imagine what magic food does to your lower intestines. Yet we rarely see people go to the bathroom at Hogwarts. Yeah, true. Anyways, Hazza finds Ronno and Hermo at the Shrieking Shack, right? And Ronno, he's trying to hit up Hermione, or like, "Maybe I could make you shriek in the shack, if you know what I mean." But Hermo, she's not into rangers, right? So she tells him to put his cock away, and then Malfoy rocks up and calls Hermo a mudblood, right? That's like the N-word for wizards, right? Yeah, exactly, the M-word. Anyways, Hazza is obviously nearby under the invisibility cloak, so he starts throwing snowballs at Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle. And then he pulls down Crabbe's pants, right? He pulls down his pants. Yeah, I don't really know what that was about. Also, it could have been Goyle. I have no idea which one's which. So then Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle leg it, leaving a trail of yellow snow behind them. And Hermo and Hazza, they have a good old laugh, don't they? Yellow snow, I just got it. Never mind. So next up, Hazza, Ronno and Hermo are having a yak in Hogsmeade about the map, and Ron is livid because his brothers never told him about the map. Instead, they gave him another map that was giving him directions to his one and only pubic hair. That is a weird map to have on hand. So they overhear Madame Rosmuerta talking to Cornelius Fudgepacker, right? And she has her knickers all in a knot because she doesn't want the Dementards coming to her pub because they don't have any money and they just want to suck everyone off. Don't you mean suck their souls out? Yeah, that's right. So she says to him, why are they even here? And Fudgepacker leans in and he goes, well, they're actually here because Black is after Hazza, and we've hired them to protect him. Yeah, but aren't these the same Dementors that have almost killed Potter twice now? Yeah, those ones. Anyways, they sneak inside to have a conversation in private, right? So Hazza puts on the cloak and follows them, doesn't he? Then we get a huge exposition scene where McGonagall tells this story about Sirius Black. Why is McGonagall there now? I don't know, maybe she got angry that she had no lines in this movie, so they just gave her this scene. Yeah, fair enough. So she's like, Black was the one who told Voldemort where Potter's parents were hiding, and not only that, he killed Peter Pettigrew! Who's Peter Pettigrew? No idea, but apparently they only found his finger after the murder, right? And how do they know he was murdered and that Black didn't just chop off his finger? Well, because wizard police are lazy and they didn't want to fill out any more paperwork, did they? Anyways, that's not the only bombshell she drops, right? Then she goes, Sirius Black was, and to this day, remains Harry Potter's godfather! Oh shit, so he was like besties with Hazza's parents. And then he helped Voldemort bloody kill him. Right, so Hazza freaks out and he legs it out of the pub and then he pushes over these three midgets. Goblins. Come on, man, we don't say midgets anymore. Anyways, Hermo finds him having a sook under the invisibility cloak at the Shrieking Shack. So then Hazza tells them that he wants Black to find him, doesn't he? Because he's gonna fucking kill him. Kill Black? The same serial killer who broke out of an impossible to escape prison. So how's he gonna do that? I don't know, maybe he plans to do like a Home Alone type situation and set up a bunch of micro machines and paint buckets. I have this theory that Kevin McAllister, he probably grew up to become Jigsaw from the Saw franchise. So anyways, next we cut to Lupin teaching Hazza how to use a Patronus charm to fight the Dementards. And Lupin reckons the trick to the spell is to imagine a happy memory. So Hazza, he closes his eyes and he starts imagining this hentai scene that he saw on Wizard Hub. But then Lupin gets a bit grossed out, so he tells him to tuck his wand back in his pants and imagine a real memory. So what memory does he use? Well, that's just it, right? We don't get to see the memory. It's used as a mystery. So many bloody mysteries, right? Anyways, Hazza totally faints again, and Lupin's like, get up, you bloody wuss. So he gives Hazza some of that pedo chocolate again, you know, like the one he used before, and then he asks Hazza what memory he used, and Hazza says that he chose the first time he rode a broom. And no, I'm not talking about a bloke's cock. That doesn't seem like a very strong memory. Well, that's exactly what Lupin says. So he tells Hazza to pull his bloody head in and think of a better one. So what does he choose? It's another bloody mystery, isn't it? Oh, for God's sake. Anyways, Hazza only bloody does it, doesn't he? He ejaculates a massive Patronus from the end of his wand, and Lupin gives him more pedo chocolate to congratulate him. Then he asks Hazza what memory he used this time, and Hazza reckons it was an old memory of his mum and dad talking to him. Didn't they die when he was a baby? How would he remember that? Oh yeah, they were totally murdered. Hazza reckons he might have even imagined the memory, but it's the happiest one he can currently think of. Oh, that's a bit sad. Yeah, it's pretty cooked. The dude probably should be in a mental asylum by now with all that's happened to him. Anyways, next up, Ronno, he's pissed at Hermo because his rat is gone, and he reckons Hermo's cat Crookshanks ate it with a side of chips. Yeah, that does seem likely. But Hermo's on her rags, right? And she disagrees, so she tells Ron to go sit on a pointy-ended dildo. Ouch. Next up, they're having a yak to Hagrid at the lake, where he's just standing in the water throwing stones for some reason. Isn't that the same lake with the giant monster in it? Yeah, but no one really seems to worry about that for some reason. So Hagrid, he's having this epic whinge because Buckbeak has been sentenced to death for shanking Malfoy with a toothbrush. Yeah, that seems a bit harsh, but what did Hagrid expect bringing a wild and violent animal to a class filled with underage kids, right? Exactly, the dude's a bloody pelican. Anyways, next up, Hazza is staying up late and he's munging down these cookies because he smoked way too many cones. And when he looks at the Marauder's FAP, you'll never guess whose bloody name appears on it. Riley Reid? What? No, she hasn't been popular for years. It's bloody Peter Pettigrew, isn't it? Oh, that's the guy that was murdered by Black, right? Exactly. Except we knew he wasn't dead because they only found a finger, and unless you see someone die in a film directly, then the rule is that they aren't actually dead. Yeah, that's a pretty lame trope at this stage. Anyways, Hazza goes out hunting for Peter Pettigrew, right? But the footsteps on the map go right bloody past him. So Hazza thinks maybe he's just tripping from all the chuff he just smoked. Makes sense. But you'll never guess this, right? Snapo, he catches him out of bed late at night, and he sees the map, doesn't he? Weird. So what happens next? Well, he uses a spell to try and unlock it, doesn't he? doesn't he? But the map just tells him that he's got a big nose and a small penis. And just when it looks like Snape's about to lose it, old mate Lupin rocks up, and he totally covers for Hazza, and he says that the map is just some old piece of paper that's designed to insult whoever reads it. Smart. Lupin is a mad dog, but aren't all the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers evil? What's his angle? Well, mate, you gotta wait till the end of the bloody movie to find out that, don't ya? So Lupin takes the map from Hazza, and then he gives him this massive spraying, right? He says that Hazza, he's gonna grow up to have terrible facial hair, and that his mum and dad died trying to protect him, and wandering around late at night with a killer on the loose is a cooked thing to do because it means that his parents bloody died for nothing. Fair point, right? Exactly. It's almost like Hazza wants to die or something. Anyways, before he goes back to his room, he tells Lupin that the bloody map is broken. Did Lupin ask if he tried turning it off and on again? And Hazza's like, obviously, I tried that, you cunt. Then he says that it's glitching and that he saw Peter Pettigrew's name on the map. And Lupin looks like he's taken some bad shrooms or something because he looks super worried, right? But then he snaps out of his bad trip and he tells Hazza that that's bloody impossible. I mean, they are in a castle filled with floating staircases and ghosts. I'm not sure why someone coming back from the dead would surprise him, but shouldn't even really be out of the realms of possibility at Hogwarts, but go on, right? Anyways, next up they're having another class with that massive trip of Trelawney, and Hermo's finally calling her on her shit, right? She reckons that she's got less magic than those underpaid security guards at Disneyland. Oh, burn. Yeah, and then Hermo's like, astrology and spirituality is just some bullshit someone made up to keep middle-class white women busy because they got too much money and time on their hands. Fair point, I'd agree with that. So then Trelawney, she cracks it and she goes to Hermo, you're just gonna be another single something 30s woman mindlessly swiping profiles on Hinge while watching Queer Eye for a Straight Guy and buying a new cat every 3 weeks. Oh, double burn. I feel like Trelawney won this one, right? Right? So Hermo storms off and Hazza goes back into class to give Trelawney her crystal ball back. But get this, something real strange happens. Is she banging one of the students, you know, like our old principal did? Nah, mate. Hazza looks into the crystal ball and he sees Sirius Black, right? And then Trelawney, who's probably just smoked on the crack pipe for too long, starts talking in this demonic voice and speaking in riddles. Creepy. Oh yeah, she's like,
He who betrayed his friends is Hogwarts, with murder shall break free. Innocent blood shall be spilled, and servant and master shall be reunited once more.
Jesus Christ, Trelawney's more intense than that gangster kid from her class. Yeah, but get this right, she totally snaps out of it and doesn't even remember saying any of it. So Hazza, he legs it because he's not sure if she's still high, and he's heard that sometimes junkies get violent and they have like this crazy superhuman strength. Yeah, why do junkies have such crazy strength when they look like cancer patients? No idea. Anyways, Hazza and Hermo and Ron walk past this creepy dude sharpening an axe in the courtyard. Is it Sirius Black? Nah, that would have made more sense though, to be honest. Turns out it's just some random dude and no one thought to tell the teachers or anything. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, the rules at this school only really seem to be there to serve the plot and have very little concern for the actual children's well-being. True. So then Hazza catches Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle hiding out at Hagrid's shack. They're all trying to sneak a peek of Buckbeak's execution. So Malfoy likes to watch small animals get tortured. Isn't that like one of the hallmark traits of a psychopath? Oh yeah, he's a full psycho for sure. So Hermo, she loses it, right? And she goes full Super Saiyan and then she punches Malfoy straight in the face. Damn, you go girl. Yeah, it's a totally baller move. She even knocks all his teeth out and then she squats down on him and takes a filthy piss. Gross. Yeah, what's even weirder is that Malfoy seems to be into that stuff, just like the Dementors. Anyways, next they go down to visit Hagrid and Buckbeak, he's just chilling out the front eating some dead animal carcasses. Hang on, what? Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's about. It's fucking disgusting. Anyways, Hagrid's still upset that Buckbeak is about to get publicly executed. You know, just like that healthcare CEO was. Why are chicks so into that guy? No idea. They think dudes are cooked because they watch porn, but then they binge hours of podcasts about people getting sexually assaulted and then decapitated, and they think that's awesome. I feel like murder is worse, but whatever. Anyways, turns out it's not all bad news. Old mate Hagrid has only gone and found Ronno's rat scabbers, hasn't he? Well, that seems a bit convenient. How do you manage that? They don't explain it or mention it ever again. Of course they don't. Anyways, Hermo, she's still Super Saiyan, right? And she's still on her rags, so she demands Ronno apologise for blaming her cat. I mean, I guess that's fair. The cat was innocent in the end. Yeah, but before he can say anything, someone throws a rock through the window and smashes a bloody vase. And then another rock hits Hazza right in the head. Jesus, what kind of pelican just throws a rock through a window? Well, we don't know that yet. Let me guess, it's another mystery. You're goddamn right it is. Anyways, Hazza, he's getting woozy because he's got a slow brain bleed from the rock that just hit him in the head. And then Fudge Packer and the Executioner rock up. And then Hagrid, he shits himself because he doesn't want to be found alone with kids in his hut again. So he tells them to leg it out the back door. It does seem odd that he hasn't been arrested more times. I agree, I don't know how he's still working there. So Hazza, Ronno and Hermo escape up the hill and they turn around just in time to see the execution go down. They show Buckbeak's head getting cut off. What the fuck? Nah, mate. They just show him him swing the axe and then they cut to a wide where a bunch of birds fly away? Oh, well then he's not dead then, is he? We already talked about this rule. If you don't see a body in a movie, they're not dead. Damn it, you're right. I mean, they're just planting so many mysteries that I'm just looking for him now, aren't I? I guess that's fair. Anyway, Scabbers bites Ronno's finger and then he gives him rabies. Jesus Christ, does he go to the hospital wing? Nah, mate, he just runs after him, doesn't he? Yeah, of course he does. I mean, why worry about a bite from a rat, right? They only cause the Black Plague. Yeah, true. But get this, he catches him right under the Whomping Willow, and just when you think he's going to get crushed by the Roid Rage tree from the second film, the Grim, you know, the big black dog the crackhead Trelawney talked about, we see it grab Ronno and it drags him under the bloody tree. The dog saves Ron? Nah, mate. Turns out he dragged him under the tree so that he could dry hump his leg. Gross. I didn't know these movies had bestiality. Oh, mate, there's tons of it. Furries would love this film. Anyways, Hazza and Hermo try to chase him under the tree, but get beaten up by the Whomping Willow, who's still pissed off at Hazza for crashing his flying car into him in the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, that's fair enough. They could have crashed their car literally anywhere else on the Hogwarts grounds. True. Anyways, the riders, they get lazy, don't they? So Hermo and Hazza manage to escape under the tree without a bloody scratch. Really, that is lazy. Yeah, but get this. There's only a bloody secret passage under the tree, isn't there? Where does it go? Only to the Shrieking Bloody Shack. Not the Shrieking Shack. Wait, what's the Shrieking Shack? Well, they briefly mentioned it earlier. It's more of a thing in the book. To be honest, they kind of cooked it in the movie. Anyways, they find Ronno, but he's not alone, right? He's with the big black dog, yeah? Is he still humping his leg? Nah, mate. He's with Sirius Bloody Black. Oh, damn, this is getting exciting. Yeah, it is. And Hazza, he's super pissed at him. You know, because he murdered his parents. Well, naturally. So Hazza gets Black on the ground and pulls like this epic UFC move on him. And just as you think Hazza's gonna get some street justice on his ass, Lupin rushes in and he saves Sirius Black. No fucking way. Yes fucking way. And then Lupin and Black just totally hug it out. And then Lupin even sneaks 2 cheeky fingers up Black's asshole. Oh, gross. And then Hermo, she's like, Lupin, he's a fucking werewolf. That's why he's been skipping classes and sniffing people's bottoms. Am I supposed to act surprised now? Yes, please. He's a werewolf. Oh my God. Thank you. Anyways, Lupin, he's like, Hazza, you got it all wrong, you bloody turkey. Black didn't kill your parents. It was bloody Peter Pettigrew. Oh. My God. Then Snape'o busts in and he totally saves the day. Holy shit. You don't have to pretend to act surprised anymore. It's okay. No, that one was genuine. Oh, good. Anyway, Snape'o goes to Black. I'm glad I was the one to catch you, you filthy crotch-licking motherfucker. And Lupin's like, Snape, you've got it all wrong, you bloody turkey. Is that like his catchphrase or something? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, Snape'o goes, I'm going to tell Dumbledore that you were the one who let Black into school. 40,000 points from Lupin's shitty mustache. He's right, it's not a great mustache. Like, you can talk, mate. Anyway, Snape'o goes, now I'm going to enjoy watching the Dementors French kiss you. And then Snape, he pulls out a box of tissues and some hand lotion. Gross. But then out of nowhere, Hazza does this super sick Kamehameha and blasts Snape'o into a wall. He what? Why would he do that? And Hermo, she's like, oh no! You attacked a teacher, you specky wanker! Okay, now I'm leaning in. This is getting really interesting. So Hazza, he demands Lupin and Black tell him more about Peter Pettigrew, right? And then Lupin, he's like, we went to school with the cunt, and when you said you saw him on the map, I knew Black must be innocent. And then Hazza, he's like, I smoked like 40 cones that night. I was blazed out of my skull. Maybe the map was wrong. And then Black goes, the map never lies. Then Hazza looks down at the map, and the map calls him a specky little cunt, so that he knows Black is now telling the truth. So then Black points to Ronno's pet rat Scabbers, right? And he says he cut off his finger and pretended to be dead, and then he transformed into a bloody rat, and now he's been hiding at the Weasleys for the past 12 years. His rat? Oh, big twist, right? But wouldn't that mean he's been like watching Ron get changed and wank off for the past 12 years? Exactly. Turns out he helped murder Hazza's parents, and he's a massive pedo. That's dark. Anyways, Lupin and Black, they only bloody turn Peter Pettigrew back into a person, except he still looks half rat for some reason. And then they all go to take him back to the castle to feed his ass to the Dementards. Sick. So that's the end of the movie, right? No, mate, there's still like another hour left. What the fuck? Why? Yeah, I know what you mean. They should have quit while they were ahead. Anyways, Black bails up Hazza on the way back to the castle, and he's like, you know, I'm your godfather, right? Well, if you don't want to live with the Dursleys anymore, after I clear my name, you can come and live with me, you mad cunt. Oh, that's kind of sweet. Yeah, but Hazza says he'll think about it because Black looks like a junkie on steroids and kind of smells like dry shit, you know, because he hasn't washed in 12 years. And you're not going to believe what happens next. I'm not even going to guess this time. Really? Oh. Okay. So Lupin looks up and he's like, oh, bloody hell, it's a full moon. And then Black's like, Lupin, you flaming idiot, why didn't you take your potion? Oh shit, that's terrible timing. I mean, I feel like they could have seen the full moon as soon as they walked outside, but I guess they needed to raise the stakes somehow. Exactly. Then Lupin, he transforms, right? And Black has to try and restrain him, which means no one's keeping an eye on sneaky Peter Pedo Pettigrew. Oh no, does he get away? You're bloody right he does, like a billionaire on Epstein's flight list. He turns into a rat again and runs off into the bushes. Damn it. Then Werewolf Lupin, he starts looking at Rono, Hazza and Hermo like they'd be tastier than a Whopper at Hungry Jack's at 4 in the morning after the club. I mean, I guess a werewolf is pretty scary, but they all have wands, right? So you could just use magic and blast his nuts off. Yeah, I was thinking that too, but maybe they all got brain cancer from the Whomping Willow's Wi-Fi or something like that, because none of them think to do that. Anyways, just as Werewolf Lupin is about to attack him, Snape conveniently wakes up like nothing has happened, and he tries to protect him again. Whoa, Snape-o, he's smart, he'll definitely use magic. Nah, he just kind of puts his arms out to protect the kids like some sort of human mannequin. Well, that's gonna do fuck all, isn't it? Exactly. Anyways, Werewolf Lupin lunges at them, and then Sirius Black turns into a big black dog again, and he pulls some super sick canine jujitsu moves. You know what? I'm beginning to like Sirius now. Yeah, me too. Anyways, Potter, he runs off to try and help Black fight Lupin. And then Snape-o, he's like, "Come back, Potter, you specky little prick." Then Hazza sees Werewolf Lupin do that Liu Kang bicycle kick from Mortal Kombat, which knocks Black right off the side of a bloody mountain. That's a hard move to pull off. Yeah, I could never master it back in the day. Anyways, Werewolf Lupin turns on Hazza again, doesn't he? But right when it looks like he's about to bite Hazza's tiny pink dick off, another werewolf calls out from the bushes, and Lupin goes running off, doesn't he? Another werewolf. Yeah, weird, right? Anyways, Hazza, he goes down the cliff, and then he finds Black lying half dead by a lake in the middle of the forest. Wait, I thought he fell down a cliff. How is he in the middle of a forest next to a lake? Yeah, no idea. I think they were hoping we weren't paying attention or something. Anyways, then Black starts screaming, right? And Hazza looks up and he sees like 400 million Dementards swirling over their heads. Why the hell are there so many Dementards now? Yeah, I don't know. This scene makes about as much sense as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's chin putty in that movie Looper. Yeah, that was fucked. Who made that decision? Anyways, Hazza tries to fight them off with the spell that Lupin taught him, but it's not bloody strong enough. And the Dementards, they start kissing Hazza and Black, right? And they're doing it real deep and sloppy. And just when it looks like it's about to turn into some full-on gothic porno, a blue glowing deer shows up and scares them all away. A deer? What the hell? Yeah, look, it's best not to question much from the rest of the film because I think the writers were really rushing to meet a deadline, and I get the sense that one of them might even be behind on child payments in a recent divorce. What makes you think that one of the writers was a deadbeat dad? Dunno, just a hunch. Yeah, but didn't J.K. Rowling write the actual story and they just adapted it? Yeah, maybe she was behind on her bills because she was too busy tweeting about trans people. Yeah, well, that makes much more sense. So Hazza, he wakes up in the hospital wing, right? How many times is this kid gonna wake up in the bloody hospital wing? I think he basically sleeps there now, maybe. Anyways, Hermo's sitting on the side of the bed, and Hazza's like, "My dad. I saw my dad. He saved us from the Dementards." Then Hermo goes, "Harry, you stupid idiot. You were just having a dream. Your parents are dead, you wanker." That's a bit harsh. Yeah, but she really needed to make her point, didn't she? Anyways, Hermo reckons that everyone still thinks Black did it. And now that they've caught him, they're going to let the Dementards kiss him harder than Michael Jackson kissed Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, but Black is innocent, right? Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? No one believes Hermo and Hazza. And then Dumbledore bursts in and he starts talking in riddles about time and how dangerous it is if you fuck with it or something. Then he turns to Hermo and he's like,
"You know the rules, Miss Granger. If you get caught, I'll kick you in the snatch."
And then he just straight up tells them where Sirius Black is being held captive, then he just fucks off. What the hell was that about? Yeah, I was thinking that maybe Dumbledore was just smoking the chuff again, but turns out Hermo knows exactly what he's on about, and she pulls out this golden necklace and starts spinning it, and then Hazza and Hermo go back in bloody time. They do what? I told you this film was part Back to the Future, didn't I? You know what always bugged me about that film? That Biff is the one washing their car at the end. Ah, because he tried to molest the mum when she was young. Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be like the last person you want to wash your car? Yeah, that's a good point. It's fucked up. Okay, well, so what happens to Ron then? Yeah, well, Hermo says he can't come because he's got a broken leg. And then she also says to him that he's a ginger-pubed twat and no one likes him. She's got a good point. Well, so then Hazza and Hermo, they leg it faster than Paul Walker was going when he hit that bloody tree. Oh, too soon, mate. Piss off. It's been 10 years. Anyways, Hazza and Hermo run outside where they see the earlier versions of themselves and they see Hermo beat the shit out of Malfoy again. Oh, well, that's weird. Yeah, that's what Hazza says. Then he asks Hermo if she slipped acid in his lunch milk or something, and she goes, "No, Harry, you specky twat. This is called a time turner. McGonagall gave it to me at the start of term, so I could attend more classes than I normally would." Wait, so McGonagall gave a dangerous time travel device to a third-year student just to help her pass a few classes? Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking there. I think maybe she's going through menopause or something. Anyways, they go down the hill to Hagrid's hut, right? And Buckbeak, he's still alive, isn't he? Called it. Didn't see a body. I knew he wasn't dead. Yeah, it's a lazy trope. We all know it. Anyways, Hermo reckons that they can save him, right? And then Hazza says he'll go into the hut and warn their past selves. Then Hermo goes, "Harry, you fucking idiot! Haven't you seen any time travel movie ever? You can't bloody do that!" And then Hazza, he's like, "What about Groundhog Day? I've seen that. Does that count?" Then Hermo just totally loses it and she goes, "No, you fucking idiot! That's a time loop movie like Game Over or Edge of Tomorrow or Happy Death Day! This is a time travel movie like Back to the Future, Avengers Endgame, or maybe even Hot Tub Time Machine!" And then Hazza's like, "Oh yeah, right, I get it now." Anyways, Hermo sees that Fudge Packer and the Executioner are coming back, right? But their past selves are still inside Hagrid's bloody hut. So she finds some stones and then she throws them through the window to warn them. You mean the one that cracks a vase and the one that gives Hazza a slow brain bleed? Exactly right, mate. So then the current Hazza and Hermo leg it into the woods just in time to see their past selves sneak out of Hagrid's hut. But Buckbeak, he's still tied up right out front, isn't he? So Hazza, he sneaks up and unties him. But Buckbeak won't bloody move, right? Well, what's wrong with him? Well, he's still hungry, isn't he? So Hermo, she pulls these dead ferrets out of her ass and then she feeds them to him. So then they just happily jog off into the woods together. Why did she have dead ferrets in her ass? Dunno. I think she just keeps them there at all times, just in case. Anyways, the Executioner guy, you know, the guy who was sharpening the axe before and no one called the coppers on him for some reason? He's livid because he was juiced up to chop some heads off. So he just cracks it and chops up a bunch of bloody pumpkins instead. Which makes all the birds fly away, doesn't it? Right, so that's what the past versions of themselves see. Great, you're catching on. I keep telling everyone you're not mentally handicapped. Wait, who says I'm mentally handicapped? Pretty much everyone. Anyways, Hermo and Hazza take Buckbeak into the woods and wait outside the Whomping Willow. Why do they wait there? Well, they want to wait for their past selves to come out with Sirius, Lupin and Peter Pettigrew, don't they? Wouldn't it have made more sense to try and rescue Black before Lupin turned into a werewolf? Yeah, I guess that would have made much more sense. But I guess Hazza's still got a slow brain bleed, so maybe that's what's happening. Ah, right, makes sense. Anyways, while they're waiting, Hazza, he starts telling Hermo about how he thinks he saw his dad and how that it was him who made the big blue glowing deer thing by the lake and rescued both him and Black from the Dementards. Then Hermo, she's like, "I've already told you, Harry, you brain-damaged tosser! Your parents are dead! You're an orphan with a tiny penis and you only have 2 friends and even we don't like you!" Bit harsh, but go on. Yeah, but like I said, she really wants to get her point across. Anyways, Hazza starts daydreaming about what life might be like if they rescue Sirius and he doesn't have to live with the Dursleys anymore. And just as he's about to jizz his pants from the daydream, Lupin turns into a werewolf and attacks their past selves. So Hazza and Hermo, they run after werewolf Lupin and they find him just as he's about to bite off Hazza's tiny pink dick. But right before he does, Hermo pretends to be a wolf and distracts him. Oh, that's clever. So it was their future selves and not another wolf. See, you're not handicapped. But wouldn't that mean that the werewolf is now going to attack their future selves instead of their past selves? Yeah, well, that's what Hazza says. So they leg it into the woods and hide behind a tree. Yeah, but he's a wolf though. He'll smell them right away. Yeah, bloody right he does. But right as he's about to bite Hazza's tiny pink dick off for the 3rd time, Buckbeak jumps in and he stabs werewolf Lupin in the left nutsack with a shiv that he made from a toothbrush. You know, the one that he stabbed Malfoy with. I love Ghetto Buckbeak. Yeah, he's the best. Anyways, Hazza realizes that if they leg it to the lake, they might be right in time to see Hazza's dad save him and Sirius Black. And what happens? Is it his dad? No, mate, nothing bloody happens, does it? So Hazza jumps out from behind the tree just in time and he shouts, "Inspector my boner!" And a big white beam shoots out of the end of his tiny wand and he scares all the Dementards away. Ah, so it was him that saved his past self, and Hazza, because he has a slow brain bleed, thought he was seeing his dad. Exactly. Then Hazza and Hermo, they're flying away on the back of Buckbeak and he asks her if she saw him shoot white stuff out of the end of his wand. Gross. Yeah, it kind of is, but he's super proud because he hasn't produced a load that big before. Anyways, they land Buckbeak at the top of the tower and rescue bloody Sirius, don't they? Then they take him to the school courtyard, right? And there, the courtyard? Why don't they fly him far away where he'll be safe? Hazza's got a brain bleed, remember? That's why he's making shit decisions. Ah, true. Anyways, Hazza's like, "But now people will think you're guilty." But then Black, he's like,
Yes, but at least you know I'm not, Harry. Also, Hermione is hot. You should totally hit that. Ron doesn't have a chance.
a little bit weird that he thinks a teenage girl is hot. Yeah, true. But he's right about Ronno. He's a total loser. Anyways, then there's this really shit animation of Black riding off on Buckbeak while some sad music plays. Wow, that is shit. I don't know why, but whenever you see a real person riding a CGI animal in a movie, it looks worse than my grandma does naked. Hang on, why have you seen your grandma naked? You do not want to know. Anyways, the tower bell starts chiming, so Hazza and Hermo, they leg it back to the hospital wing, and they only get there just in time to see Dumbledore leaving the room after talking to their past selves, right? So the bell starts chiming right as they finish doing everything that they needed to do. That's a bit convenient, isn't it? Oh, it's super convenient. Anyways, Dumbledore's like,
Well,
and Hazza, he goes, we did it. And then Dumbledore goes,
did what? Good night.
what the fuck? But Dumbledore totally knew about the time travel. Yeah, mate, but every Potter fan knows that these films are just Dumbledore gaslighting Hazza for like 6 years. Jesus Christ, he's worse than the Dursleys. Oh yeah, mate, he's way worse. Anyways, Hazza and Hermo burst into the hospital wing right as their previous selves disappear and go back in time. And Ronno, who sees it all happen, totally shits his pants. And he goes, oh, what's going on? How'd you get from over there to over here? Then Hazza and Hermo, they laugh, and rather than telling him, they just decide to fuck with him a bit and tell him that no one can be in two places at once. You know, which is supposed to be a callback to what Ronno said to Hermo earlier in the film, but it sort of comes off like some sort of cruel joke that Ron will probably tell to a psychiatrist for years to come. Damn. Anyways, we cut to an exterior of the school, don't we? And another bird gets exploded by that fucking tree for no reason at all, and then Hazza walks into Lupin's office, and he's only packing up, isn't he? Oh no, he's leaving? Yeah, mate, apparently Snape'o told everyone he was a werewolf and then posted pictures of his hairy dog balls all over the internet. So then parents called up the school and they all bloody complained. I mean, I guess that's fair. He did almost eat 3 children. Yeah, but there's sad music, so we're supposed to sympathise with him. Oh, that's sad. So Hazza, he's having this massive whinge to Lupin, and he tells him that he feels like after the entire events of the movie and all they did, nothing's really changed, because Peter Pettigrew still escaped and Black's still on the run from the bloody coppers. He sort of has a point though, right? Oh yeah, Hazza fucked it up big time, but Lupin, he goes, Harry, quit your whinging, you specky little cunt. You stopped a man from going to be put to death, and you helped discover the truth. Oh, I love Lupin. But what's super weird is that the whole conversation is kind of ruined, because neither of them talk about the cabinet filled with human skulls that's right behind Hazza. You're right, that's really weird. Yeah, I think Lupin is either the Zodiac killer or he's just stupid enough to have not seen it all semester. Why is it there? Now I really want to know. I literally have no idea. Anyways, he gives Hazza back his map, which is super irresponsible because he could totally use it to spy on every girl at the school while they're taking a piss in the bathroom. And then Hazza goes to the Great Hall where everyone's gathered around this new package that old mate Hedwig has delivered. Oh, what's in it? It's only a bloody firebolt, the fastest broom in the world, and it's got a feather in the bag, which means that Sirius Black sent it to him, didn't he? This bloody kid, he's got all the cash in the world and people keep buying him expensive brooms. Does he at least donate it to charity? Nah, he just goes out and rides it, doesn't he? But just before he leaves the building, he takes a piss on a homeless man's face just to really rub it in. So he's R. Kelly now. That's disgusting. So's your mum's vagina. What? Subscribe for the next movie, you bloody dogs!